Am I the a-hole for outshining my sister-in-law's wedding by throwing an extravagant birthday party for my 5-year-old daughter the day after? Sister-in-law and most of her family is upset with me because of a recent situation. My brother got married with sister-in-law at a small church by our house. My daughter's birthday was the day right after, and it was perfect because all the family was in town anyways for the wedding. My husband is a surgeon and he loves to spoil our daughters, and I love planning parties, so I booked a really nice garden venue and made it a princess carnival theme for all the kids and adults to enjoy together. It was a beautiful event, but towards the end of it, I got pulled into the bathroom where sister-in-law was upset and crying, saying a 5-year-old outshined her wedding. Then she got mad at me, saying it was disrespectful to schedule the birthday party near her wedding time and not talk to her about. However, it's not like I can change the day my daughter's birthday falls on, and sister-in-law was invited to my daughter's birthday weeks in advance, so it's not like I dropped it on her last minute. I think it's pretty crazy she's getting jealous over a little girl, but quite a few family members on her side are saying I'm in the wrong. So, am I the a-hole?
Am I the a-hole for saying ladies first to a trans man? First of all, I didn't know they were trans. They 100% pass as a man in my opinion, so I had no clue. I have a coworker who I have worked with a few months. We travel around the country together for work and I feel we're becoming good friends. We even room together, usually in the same hotel room. We constantly tease each other. Now onto the dilemma. We were walking into a store after the day was over and I opened the door for them like I usually do. I'm taller and walk faster than most. I said in a sing-song joking voice, ladies first, and his face instantly became sad. Then he looked pissed. He didn't say anything in the store, but yelled at me when we were in the car, saying how insensitive I was to their life, while I tried to console them, apologizing and saying I didn't know. It's been a few days now and he still seems mad at me. Also, I don't think the joke is sexist. If I were to say, penguins first, it would have the same humor to me. The joke to me is just calling someone something they are not. It is a very common joke, I think. I meant no malice towards him at all. Am I the a-hole?
Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter that she made it clear she has no mother and having a long list she must do to move back in? I will keep the background short. I divorced my ex-husband when my daughter, Maria, was 10. I got the house but was a stay-at-home mom at the time, so I had trouble making ends meet. There was lots of budgeting after I got a job in my field again. My ex didn't have this problem and could spoil her. He spoiled her rotten, and it really affected our relationship. I would tell her I can't afford to get her a $1,000 laptop and it would cause a huge argument about how dad is better. I tried to get her a job. Another argument happened. When she was 17, she decided to drop out from high school. I told her no. Another argument and she left to live with dad permanently. I tried to contact her multiple times, but she told me I wasn't her mother anymore and leave her alone. She is now 21 and her dad has gotten remarried and basically kicked her out, so she called me and we met up. She wants to move back in, and I told her only under these conditions. 1. She needs to get her GED. 2. She needs to be working a job at least 25 hours a week. 3. She needs to be looking into what her career will be, and either go to a trade school or college. 4. She won't need to pay rent, but needs to buy her own stuff, like clothes and personal items. 5. She needs to contribute to the shared areas like chores. 6. Finally, no partying lifestyle. She needs to focus on getting her life together, not going out every night like she used to do, save it for the weekend. She called me a crazy jerk and then I am a crap mother for this. I informed her that she made it clear she has no mother. She stormed out and I am getting texts. Am I the a-hole for telling my 14-year-old daughter that she's average looking? I, 39F, have a very insecure daughter, 14F, who has a depressingly unhealthy obsession with her looks. She often avoids mirrors and pictures because her mood instantly drains when she sees herself. She constantly asks her father and me if we think she's pretty, and we always tell her the same thing, that she's a beautiful girl inside and out. As I understand how most teenage girls are with their body image, as I was one at some point myself, my daughter's vanity is not only becoming exhausting to those around her, but I fear it's causing her to slowly lose herself. Yesterday, I decided to sit her down to chat with her about this, to discuss what's bothering her, and to see if she's willing to visit a therapist. She told me she didn't want to talk about it, but as her mother, of course, I'm going to be worried about her, so I insisted. She finally agreed. A few minutes into this conversation, she asked exactly this: Mom, I want you to be completely honest with me. That means no sugarcoating. The kids at my school think I'm ugly and say I look like a bird because I have a big nose. Do you really think I'm beautiful, or are you just lying? I'm an honest person, so I gave her the most honest answer I had. I told her she was average looking like most people in the world are, and that it's not a bad thing to have an average appearance. She immediately got up and left without saying a word and just went into her room for the rest of the night. Today, she has been cold and distant, and I think I upset her, which wasn't my intention at all. So, am I the a-hole?
Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my surrogate keep our baby after she changed her mind? I, 33 am, find myself in a difficult situation with my surrogate, Maria, 25F. To provide some context, my husband, Roman, 37 and I decided to use surrogacy to have a child. We had a legal agreement in place, and Maria was compensated generously for her part in carrying our baby. Everything was going smoothly, and we were excited for our child's arrival. However, around the 8th month of pregnancy, Maria dropped a bombshell. She declared that she no longer wanted to go through with the surrogacy and expressed her desire to keep the child. This sent Roman into a fit of anger, but I managed to get him to step out, and I had a one-on-one conversation with Maria. I reminded her that she had legally signed the documents, and the baby was unequivocally ours, mine and Roman's. She began pleading with me, but I stood my ground, asserting that this child was my son and not hers. She tried to bargain, saying she no longer wanted the money, but I firmly rejected her request, emphasizing that no one had coerced her into signing those papers. Whether she liked it or not, the baby was ours. To add some financial weight to my argument, I pointed out all the money we had invested in the baby and the substantial amount she received before the pregnancy. I made it clear that if she wanted the baby, she'd have to reimburse us for all of that, something I knew she couldn't afford. I suggested that if she had any more issues, she should speak to my lawyers, but as far as I was concerned, the baby was ours, whether she liked it or not. Maria called us cruel and even got her family involved to support her case. Now, I'm doubting whether I'm in the wrong here. Roman supports my stance, but some of my friends and her family are calling me an a-hole. So, am I the a-hole in this situation?
Am I the a-hole for refusing to go with husband when I wasn't invited? I, 29F, got a text from sister-in-law asking if she and my husband's brother could steal my husband, 34M, for a day. I said it was fine but wondered what they were going to do. She responds saying that her sister is coming into town, and they are taking her to an amusement park and wanted my husband to come to keep his brother company so she could spend time with her sister and not have to worry about him feeling left out. I felt hurt they invited him but didn't even bother asking if I wanted to come along, even if it would make it uneven again. I didn't respond with any of that but said that it was fine. Few days pass and my husband comes to me asking about if I knew about them wanting him to go with them and if I said I didn't want to go. I told him no, that wasn't it, I wasn't invited, they only want you to go. I showed him the texts and then I understand they wanted him to go to keep his brother company since her sister was going too. He said they had passes where you could bring a friend each, so, if I did go we would have to pay for me. However, they didn't invite me, so I told him I wasn't going to go if I wasn't wanted. It's rude to invite one and not the other in my opinion when it involves married couples. My husband says they probably didn't mean it in that way and that I'm being petty, that if I want to go then I should just come. I don't even mind that they want to have a siblings day, however they should have just asked him. I love amusement parks and asking me felt like it was being rubbed in my face that I'm not being invited. I asked my best friend and another if they would have been upset and they both said they would be totally pissed, but is my husband right? Am I being petty? Am I the a-hole? My common-law husband passed away 6 months ago. His sister wants me to give her his inheritance. Would I be the a-hole if I kept it? I mean, I kind of understand her point. My common-law husband passed away suddenly 6 months ago. We were together for 15 years. We have wills, so I inherited his estate, like he would have inherited mine. A part of his estate is his inheritance from his mother who passed away just a couple of months before him. A house, summer cottage and some rentals. It amounts to a couple of $1 million that would be divided between my husband and his sister. The sister is married and has 3 children. Now she wants me to sign off my husband's inheritance to her children because I'm basically not family anymore, and when I move on with my life, her family money would go to total strangers. I don't know, she hurt my feelings making me not family just because I'm not properly married and also because we don't have children. But at the same time, yes, since my husband passed before me, our estate will go to my side of the family when I pass, including her family money. I offered to include her children in my will, but she got mad because it's her family's money. The mother's estate isn't sorted out yet because of how fast everything went. The sister is only interested in my husband's share of the mother's estate. She believes my husband's estate is mine as the will stated. I don't know, am I an a-hole if I keep it? Am I the a-hole for rejecting my boyfriend's ultimatum about an open relationship? I'm currently caught in a whirlwind of emotions and relationship drama, and I desperately need advice to untangle this mess. I, 24F, have been with my boyfriend, 26M, for 4 years. Our relationship has always been great, until he dropped a bombshell on me. Out of the blue, my boyfriend brought up the idea of opening up our relationship. He explained that he loves me, but he wants the freedom to connect with others, both emotionally and physically, while keeping our relationship intact. At first, I was shocked, and to be honest, I felt a bit betrayed. When I voiced my hesitation and discomfort about the idea, he gave me an ultimatum: either I agree to an open relationship, or he'll walk away from our relationship entirely. He argued that he needed this, and if I truly loved him, I would support his needs. This put me in an incredibly tough spot. On one hand, I'm deeply committed to him and don't want to lose our relationship. On the other hand, the idea of him being with someone else tears me apart, and I just can't come to terms with it. I ended up rejecting his ultimatum, but now he's furious with me and accusing me of being controlling and unfair. He says I'm stifling his freedom. I'm heartbroken, and I'm questioning whether I've made a terrible mistake. So, am I the a-hole for rejecting my boyfriend's ultimatum about an open relationship, or should I have been more open to his desires, even if it meant compromising my own feelings? I'm overwhelmed by the situation and need some guidance.
Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter if she hates her stepmom so much she is free to leave? My daughter is 20 and in college. She has a dorm on campus, but she doesn't live there. I love my daughter, but she can be a lot. Drama follows her everywhere, and I was hoping she would grow out of it, but it never happened. Due to this, she has gone through multiple friend group and, as she puts it, they are all jealous, so she doesn't have college friends. Now I married when she turned 18. I was never married and her bio mom wasn't in the picture. So, this was an adjustment, but I want to make it clear I did the right steps. I introduced them when I was serious 2 years in. I spent more time with her. I didn't force them together. We made boundaries for my wife like punishment comes from me, not her. When she was struggling, I got her into therapy and did sessions with her. She stopped when she hit 18 since I couldn't make her go. My daughter is making it impossible for them to get along. If my wife tells her food is ready, she gets pissed that she is bothering her. If she doesn't tell her, then she is pissed she wasn't invited. It's contradiction after contradiction. I have talked to her. My wife has tried to do what she asks of her, and then she is pissed she did that. It's impossible. Now to the main issue. My wife's birthday was yesterday. I put out her presents and cake on the table. I had to work, so I left it there. I came back and all her presents were opened, and my daughter was eating a piece of cake. I asked why the frick she would do that. She told me she doesn't deserve birthday presents. This is when I had enough and told her if she hates her stepmom so much, she can leave, that she has a dorm to go to, and I don't want to see her until she apologizes to me and my wife. She started crying and called me a jerk. I have been getting a lot of texts from her, and I am starting to doubt my decision. Am I the a-hole?
Am I the a-hole for telling my sister-in-law she's the reason her kids are losers and don't get invited to anything? So I, 43F, have a son, 13M, my husband's sister, Kelly, 40F, also has 2 twin boys, 12M, all 3 of our boys are in 7th grade at the same school. My son is very kind and an extroverted kid who's involved in lots of extracurriculars, so he has been making lots of new friends and is getting invited to a lot of the other boys' events and whatnot. To put it bluntly, Kelly's sons are obnoxious and entitled. This is because of her behavior. She's absolutely obsessed with them and has no life outside of being a helicopter parent. For example, one of my nephews had a crush on a girl at school, and when the girl's mom jokingly brought it up to Kelly, she freaked out saying the girl is kinda weird, so her son obviously wouldn't have a crush on a girl like that. She has raised her boys to think they're above all the other kids, and they definitely act that way, even towards their cousins. Naturally, her boys are not getting invited to much, and a lot of the mom groups aren't including her, so she has just been inviting herself and the boys to events she hears of. Last week, there was a B-day party for a girl that Kelly's sons weren't invited to, but she just dropped them off and left without even checking in with the parents. The girl's mom called me asking me to speak to Kelly because a lot of the moms are absolutely sick of her inviting themselves. When I talked to her, she immediately flipped the script, calling me an enabler of the other mom's exclusion and bullying towards her and her boys, basically accusing me of having an agenda to make her boys seem like losers for not being invited so that my son has more friends. I just told her that if her kids are losers, it's because she raised them to be entitled and mean, and it reflects directly from how she treats the other mothers. Now my mother-in-law is calling me saying I should be vouching for my nephews to join my son's friend group because family and all that BS.